Hello fashion fan, welcome to another episode of Clothing Made Easy. I'm your humble host, Tanner Kili Carslan, and I'm here to demystify the world of clothing manufacturing. In the previous episode, we told you when to contact manufacturers and what to provide them when you contacted them, like a lookbook or a mood board. You're not supposed to contact manufacturers until you have your strategy and the types of clothing in place. But part of your strategy is to try to figure out your customers. I mean, how can you create clothing or sell anything online before you know who your customers are? So today we're actually going to be discussing something known as a customer profile. Now, last episode we talked about getting ready. This is it. The customer profile has 4 different elements. You're talking about the demographics of your customers, the geographics of your customers. You're talking about the psychographics of your customers and the personified characteristics of your customers. Before you can create the customer profile, I'm going to define what those are for you. And even today, I'm going to get you a free template that you can download. Don't forget to look at the links down below at this YouTube video. All right, let's get started. All right, now let's go split screen so you can look at the downloadable template that we're providing you. Don't forget to click the link at the bottom of the video so you can download it yourself and use it. All right, split screen. Boom, boom. All right, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is the demographics element of the customer profile. This is the kind of thing where you need to understand who the human is. So you talk about things like age, gender, occupation, income, social status, cultural status, ethnicity, etc. So all of that is who that human is. Now you need to be able to create a personified version of the person. So you need to give that person a name. All right, so give the person a name, call her Janice, and then try to figure out all these other different elements. Now the thing is the reason why the demographics is really important is I'll give you an example of why it's really important before you decide to design your clothing is ask yourself, do you really think that an 18-year-old girl that identifies as gay, who's working part-time as she's going to school, and she lives in France, and do you really think that she wears the same clothing as a 60-year-old male who's married with 3 kids, lives in Indonesia, and is about to retire? So clearly those are 2 different types of customer demographics. So you really need to define that for yourself. So on the customer profile template, you're just going to want to fill in those little sections related to all those elements. Now, the second part of the customer profile is related to geographics. This is the physical location of the person and how that relates to their buying behaviors. So you're looking at things like where they live, the city, the province or state, the country that they live in, the population in that area, because that's going to make a difference. Is it a rural area or like a really busy city like Toronto, 5 million people, or 60,000 people like in Chatham, Ontario? And the topography of the region, for example, are there mountains, ocean? Is it just a flat city like in Netherlands, like Amsterdam? So you really want to understand that area. Also, for example, if you think of someone who lives in Toronto, they need both cool weather and hot weather clothing for the 4 seasons that they get. So are you talking about clothing that's leisure wear, lounge wear, winter wear, beanie, socks, coats, and things like that? Also, the location of the customer affects their buying behavior because, for example, are you going to be doing your sales inside of a brick and mortar business? Are you going to be doing your sales specifically online? Who's going to handle your distribution as well? So all of those really matter, and that comes in line with the geographics of your customer profile. Now, the third element of your customer profile is the psychographics. This is actually the lifestyle of your customers. So you're looking at things like the attitudes, the values, the opinions, the interests and the hobbies of your customer. So think of, for example, someone that lives in Miami. That person's going to be going swimming because through the summer, and they're also going to be possibly, if they're young enough, they're going to be going out to beach clubs, nightclubs. Whereas a customer, for example, who lives in Norway, they may not go out as often. And when they do, they may be a little bit more casual about what they do. So maybe more leisure wear, street wear, heavier, thicker fabrics and materials. So what the psychographics is doing as the metrics, it also helps you how to market and sell your clothing as well. For example, if you have customers that are championing LGBTQ++ pronouns, etc., well, you're going to need to understand the type of messaging that you're going to need for your marketing. So psychographics, lifestyle, and the person's personal choices and interests and hobbies, etc. And the final 4th, but really crucial element of the customer profile is something that we call personified characteristics. Now, this is actually how your ideal customer behaves around or toward the brands and the clothing that they actually purchase. So there's going to be some questions you want to ask yourself at this stage. So for example, how loyal are those customers to specific brands or businesses? Which brands are they purchasing more frequently? How often do they plan on wearing the clothing that you sell? And also whether there's any urgency to buy right now. Different customers relate to different stimuli in different ways. So for example, if there's a lady that's young that wants to wear a dress to a nightclub, but she's only going to be wearing that dress once, well, she's probably going to be focused on cost because she knows already that she's just going to wear it once and might just go into the closet or be hand-me-down. Whereas somebody who wants to wear loungewear, for example, is going to be around the house. If they're maybe like a writer or a blogger, they're going to want something quality that lasts a long time. So price may not be their objection, but actually they will probably be looking at fabrics, quality, and maybe even the ethics and ethos around the brand itself. So that's what you want to do when it comes to the personified characteristics. All of those elements which you want to ask yourself. All right, now you've seen how the customer profile template works, but you're probably thinking to yourself, how the heck do I gather all that information? Well, there's a number of different things you're going to want to do. So the first and easiest thing to do, what we call Uncle Google, is just go on Google search. Start looking at keyword searches, start looking up other brands, start looking at maybe social media, etc. But Google really is the #1 authority when it comes to information. It is the global library of info. Beyond Google, then you can conduct surveys. For example, let's say you're on social media, you can put out a survey and maybe you want to incentivize people to answer your questions related to all those 4 elements by giving away a cool t-shirt or something. You can get those printed really fast and make one t-shirt that, you know, nice quality, funky print. Beyond that, then you're probably, let's say for example, if you already have a website, maybe you're already selling a few clothes online, then you've got to have Google Analytics in the back end. So you can look at some of the analytics research that's already there on your website to find out where customers are coming from. Google Ads is actually perfect for that. In our Google Ads, for example, at cmgarmindo, we can see which countries clients are coming from, how long they stay on our website, how much the pay-per-clicks are, blah, 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 all that stuff. So it really breaks it down for us in terms of demographics and then we can look at the psychographics of clients and all the different profiles from that type of data. But remember, from episode 2, you're not really ready to contact manufacturers until you get all of this in place. So customer profile is crucial so that you understand who your customers are before you even design clothing for them. All right. Now that you've gathered all the important data related to your customer profile, so you've got your demographics, your geographics, your psychographics, your characteristics, and also we've got this really cool template that you can now download at the bottom of this video, you're ready to go and create your customer profile. Just keep in mind to keep things simple, you want to be concise, but you want to also give yourself enough time to research this data so that you've got the right type of customer profile. Keep it humanized, give your customer a name, Janice, give your customer a feeling. Even maybe download a picture of a person from the internet so you can kind of really connect to the type of person that you think you're selling for and designing for. And then you're ready to create your first customer profile. Remember that customers and yourself are awesome human beings. Don't forget to like and subscribe with the button down below. And thank you very much for watching another episode of Clothing Made Easy. I'm your humble host, Tanner Killick Carslan, and we'd love to see you next time.